Before smartphones connected the world, before the internet revolutionized communication, and even before the printing press spread knowledge across continents, there was a civilization that invented the very foundations of everything we take for granted today. These were world-shattering innovations that literally created civilization as we know it, and most people have no idea they came from the same place. Invention number 1, the wheel. The wheel wasn't invented for transportation. That's the first mind-blowing fact. Around 3500 BCE, Sumerian craftsmen created the first wheel for something completely different, making pottery. Picture this. Before the potter's wheel, every single bowl, jar, and container had to be hand-shaped. It was slow, inconsistent, and limited. But the Sumerians said, not anymore. They created a rotating platform that allowed them to mass-produce ceramics with perfect symmetry. But here's where it gets crazy. It took them 500 more years to realize this spinning disc could move things. By 3000 BCE, they had 2-wheeled and 4-wheeled carts rolling through their cities. The wealthy rode in chariots, while merchants transported goods across vast distances. Every car, every bicycle, every piece of machinery with wheels. It all traces back to a Sumerian potter who wanted to make better bowls. Invention number 2, writing. Imagine a world where nothing could be recorded. No books, no messages, no history. That was humanity before the Sumerians invented writing around 3200 BCE. But here's the twist. They didn't invent writing to tell stories or record history. They invented it to count sheep. Sumerian merchants needed to track livestock, grain, and trade goods, so they pressed wedge-shaped marks into clay tablets using reed styluses. These weren't letters. They were the world's first accounting system. But once they could record numbers, they realized they could record anything. Within centuries, they were writing laws, stories, poems, and scientific observations. Every alphabet, every book, every text message, every email. It all started with Sumerian accountants who needed to count their sheep. Invention number 3, mathematics. The Sumerians didn't just invent numbers. They invented the mathematical concepts that run our entire modern world. They created the first positional number system. But here's what's incredible. They used base 60, not base 10 like we do today. This made calculations incredibly flexible for trade and astronomy. And here's the mind-blowing part. We still use their base 60 system today. Every minute has 60 seconds. Every hour has 60 minutes. Every circle has 360 degrees, 6 times 60. Every computer algorithm, every engineering calculation, every GPS coordinate. It's all built on mathematical principles, first developed by Sumerian mathematicians 5,000 years ago. Invention number 4, time. Before the Sumerians, humans lived by the sun and seasons. The Sumerians said that's not precise enough and invented the concept of measured time. They divided the day into 24 hours, the hour into 60 minutes, and the minute into 60 seconds. They created the first calendars with 12 months and 7-day weeks. But this wasn't just about convenience. Precise timekeeping allowed them to coordinate massive construction projects, organize agricultural cycles, and predict astronomical events. Every meeting you attend, every schedule you follow, every deadline you meet, it's all organized using time systems invented by Sumerian astronomers who wanted to bring order to human existence. Invention number 5, hydraulic engineering. The Sumerians lived between 2 rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates. Instead of being at the mercy of floods and droughts, they decided to control the water itself. Around 3500 BCE, they built the world's first irrigation canals, levees, and reservoirs. These weren't simple ditches. They were sophisticated engineering systems that could redirect entire rivers. They calculated water flow rates, designed gradient systems, and created distribution networks that could water thousands of acres of farmland. But here's what's incredible. Their irrigation systems were so advanced that they supported cities of 50,000 people in what should have been desert. Every dam, every irrigation system, every water treatment plant. It's all based on hydraulic engineering principles, first developed by Sumerian engineers, who refused to let geography limit human potential. Invention number 6. Mass production. Thousands of years before Henry Ford's assembly line, the Sumerians invented mass production. Around 3000 BCE, they created the first standardized brick molds. Every brick was exactly the same size, weight, and shape. This allowed them to build massive structures with unprecedented speed and precision. But it wasn't just bricks. They mass-produced pottery, tools, weapons, and textiles using standardized templates and assembly line techniques. Every factory, every assembly line, every mass-produced product, it's all built on manufacturing principles, first developed by Sumerian craftsmen. Invention number 7, the plow, feeding civilization. Before the plow, farming was back-breaking work done with simple hand tools. The Sumerians invented the first animal-drawn plow around 3100 BCE and changed everything. This wasn't just a stick pulled by an ox. It was a sophisticated tool with a bronze blade that could cut through tough soil and turn it over in a single pass. The plow increased agricultural productivity by 1000%. One farmer could now feed dozens of people instead of just their own family. This created the first food surpluses, which freed people to become craftsmen, merchants, priests, and administrators. Every farm, every crop, every meal you eat, it's all made possible by agricultural techniques first developed by Sumerian farmers who realized that better tools could feed the world. Invention number 8, metallurgy. The Sumerians didn't just use metal, they invented the science of metallurgy itself. Around 3500 BCE, they discovered how to extract copper from ore, how to create bronze by mixing copper and tin, and how to forge tools and weapons with unprecedented strength and precision. But here's what's incredible. They created the first alloys, the first casting techniques, and the first quality testing methods for metal products. Every skyscraper, every car, every electronic device, it's all built using metallurgical techniques first developed by Sumerian metalworkers who unlocked the power of metal. Invention number 9, beer, the foundation of civilization. This might sound crazy, but beer was one of the most important inventions in human history, and the Sumerians invented it. Around 3900 BCE, Sumerian brewers discovered that fermented barley created a nutritious, safe-to-drink beverage that could be stored for months. But beer wasn't just a drink, it was safer than water. In a world without water purification, beer's alcohol content killed harmful bacteria and parasites. Beer became currency. Workers were paid in beer rations. Religious ceremonies centered around beer. Social gatherings revolved around beer. Every brewery, every beer you've ever tasted, every fermentation process, it all traces back to Sumerian brewers who discovered that civilization could literally be built on beer. Invention number 10, cities. The Sumerians didn't just build the first cities, they invented the very concept of urban civilization. Before the Sumerians, humans lived in small villages of maybe a few hundred people. The Sumerians created cities with tens of thousands of inhabitants, urban centers that were larger and more complex than anything the world had ever seen. These weren't just big villages, they were planned urban environments with specialized districts, residential areas, commercial zones, religious centers, and administrative quarters. Streets were laid out in grids. Buildings were constructed to standardized heights. Water systems brought fresh water in and carried waste out. Markets operated on regular schedules. Cities allowed for unprecedented specialization. People could become full-time craftsmen, merchants, priests, administrators, or artists. Every city you've ever lived in, every urban innovation, every aspect of modern civilization, it's all built on urban planning principles first developed by Sumerian city builders who transformed humanity from scattered tribes into organized civilizations. So there you have it, 10 mind-blowing inventions from ancient Mesopotamia that literally created the world we live in today. The wheel that moves every vehicle, the writing that preserves every thought, the mathematics that calculates every equation, the time that schedules every moment, the hydraulic engineering that waters every crop, the mass-produced materials that build every structure, the plow that feeds every population, the metallurgy that forges every tool, the beer that brings every celebration, the cities that house every civilization. But here's the most mind-blowing fact of all. The Sumerians accomplished all of this over 5,000 years ago, using nothing but human ingenuity, clay, and an unshakable belief that they could improve the world. They had no computers, no advanced materials, no modern tools, just brilliant minds that refused to accept limitations. Every time you check the time, write a message, use money, or live in a city, you're experiencing the genius of ancient Mesopotamian inventors who changed the world forever. The next time someone asks you what the most important inventions in human history are, don't say the internet or smartphones. Tell them about the Sumerians, the civilization that invented civilization itself. If this blew your mind, make sure to subscribe for more incredible stories from ancient history that will change how you see the modern world. And let me know in the comments, which Mesopotamian invention surprised you the most?